Often though, what we're going to want to do is we're going to do some massive adjustments and changes. We're going to want to glue things together or weld things together. We're going to want to cut things apart. We're going to use one shape to cut out of another shape sometimes. And that's how we make these complex shapes. We go step by step until we can create some complex shapes from simple things that have been welded and merged together. So let's talk about how to do that. What I've done here is I've made 4 pyramids on one layer so you can see them. And I've made 4 cubes or 4 boxes on one layer so you can see that they are separate. These are all separate pieces of solid geometry. So we're going to talk about Boolean commands. And Boolean is just a fancy term in algebra for an expression like and, or nor. In AutoCAD, and, or nor are considered modeling tools. So I can say I'm going to use the solid editing tool called union. And when you say union, it's going to ask, well, what objects do you want to union together? So I want to select the pyramid and the green box, and then I'll hit enter. And now we have a brand new solid. We have something complex that didn't exist before. See, it's not 2 objects anymore. It's a brand new object. Now, something happens when you do this that you need to be aware of. This cube, right, this box, see, it has some properties. Right? It knows it's a box, it knows where it is, and it knows how big it is. And same deal for this pyramid. This pyramid has a position and it has a size. And you can see the grips. If I turn this into wireframe and click on the cube, you'll see those blue grips, right? And those allow us to resize, right? So we can see all those. What I want you to see is something happened when we created this Boolean and we union these things together. You see, it tells me that it's a 3D solid, but it's no longer telling me that this was a cube and this was a pyramid, and here are their sizes and here are their positions. You see, once you do a Boolean, you'll lose that information. You still have your general properties, but that's it. So if you want to make some editing, you've got to do that editing before you union stuff together. Okay, even the grips have disappeared. We take a look at the grips. Let me select the object. I have a position grip, right? Where is it? On the bottom of that base. But I don't have grips to adjust the width of the cube or the height of the pyramid anymore. All right. So our first Boolean was union. Let's talk about our second Boolean. It's called subtract. What does that mean? Well, we're going to click on subtract, and we're going to say I want to subtract from, because it's asking you, what do you want to select? We're going to subtract from the pyramid, and then hit enter. And then it says, what do you want to subtract? Subtract the green box. Enter. And do you see what this just did? It used the green box kind of like a cutting tool, right? It removed the green box from the pyramid along with its overlapping volume. Now I could do the same thing with this. I'll just go backward. This time I'll say subtract from the green box. Enter. Use the pyramid to do the cutting. Alright, now the pyramid's gone and we have an odd shaped little chisel point here for that green box. So that's how subtract can be used to take a couple simple shapes to make very complicated geometry. Here's our last one. Our last one's pretty cool. It's called intersection. Intersect. So in intersect, we don't have to pick one before the other. We're clicking both things at the same time or selecting both at the same time. I'll hit enter and look what it kept. Interesting. So what is this? Well, this is the overlapping parts, right, of the purple and the green. If I put it into X-ray, right, we see that they're overlapping each other. There is some of the pyramid inside the box, And when we ask it to intersect, we're saying keep the parts that overlap each other and get rid of everything else. So here are our 3 Boolean commands that we use in constructive solid modeling to take simple shapes and turn them into more complex shapes.